Welcome back to Hearthstone Power. Today we're going to finish the monster hunts and show you how to win with Toki, Time Tinker. She's fun and tough, so we got to this one last just because that was the order they were in, and so were the quests, but she's not easy. You can see here, maybe once I start beating some of the monsters, that this one took me a few attempts rather than, first or second try. So this one you might actually need a walkthrough. It was hard to find synergies with the cards that we picked. First I tried mech all the way, couldn't get there. You also have to get a little bit lucky with the monsters that you face. There are some tough ones here. It seems like there is more possibilities of facing a tough monster this time. I got a lot of the same type ones in the other ones. This one we actually do get a similar path to the monster hunt, so it will be some similar ones that you've seen, but there's not too much variety. But Shutter Walk and some of these other ones that we faced were pretty tough and did me in. Even the Murloc guy was very tough, so I had to try a few times here. This one actually took me a little longer on Gobbles, but we end up fatiguing him pretty good, which is pretty easy for him. He draws a card, which ends up hurting him every time we kill one of his beasts. Yeah, so you can see he's already fatiguing once we kill him off, so don't get killed by that charge rhino there. Sometimes that can end up happening if you don't get a great start. Yeah, so you'll see me mess around here a little bit with him sometimes and go ahead and fatigue him some more. Kill the beast, and he's taking 3. I could just end turn there if I wanted to. And let's see what options. So the curve is tough on this one, so we're gonna go with Crystal Gem, start with an extra mana crystal, because it's hard to start out with your mana worm every time. So it's easier to start off with a nice unstable portal and get a minion and control the board. I really like gaining the mana crystal in this one. Yeah, so hopefully you'll get a one play. Mirror Image isn't strong, so just look for a minion that you can use. But now we're looking for a 2 play now that we have an extra mana crystal. So don't forget about the treasures that you choose. Even the one that casts an extra spell called Double Time when you play your first one. It's easy to forget that you do these things. But always look for a card that you might be able to play first with your mana. So don't just... So the hero power here is to restart your turnover. So if you miss on a Blingtron or getting a spell that you don't really need, don't be afraid to start over. And especially, or Tink. So you know that you're trying to hit your own mirror image here and you're trying to get a 5/5. Doesn't work out, so you just keep moving on. Or maybe you can use it to see what secrets he has on. If you want to play a certain minion, you could just test it out, drop the minion, and if it's not mirror entity, then just start your turnover and try again. That's a good technique. Yeah, so this guy, Cuzzlewort, we've seen him, so I don't want to show you all the same guys, but this is just how I finished the quest this time, or the monster hunt here. But you'll get to see a new one. It seems like this one has a certain guy that you face at the end, a different type of Toki, Infinite. Yeah, so I'll just show you how to control the board, and the synergies we're going to use here are just Antonidas, and we want to grab Ragnaros. This is the only time we're going to go Elemental, because Ragnaros is great. One of the best cards ever made. Yeah, so some of the cards that you'll see later is Nala the Redeemer is going to be just an awesome card for us. It's a Divine Shield, huge taunt, so that's going to help us when we get to the tougher bosses. There's definitely some more variability, like I said here, but we actually got a pretty easy route through, and that's probably one of the ways that you'll do it. So if you guys want to see us do it a different way by facing different monsters, or you want to know how to beat a certain monster with a certain class, just comment, let me know, and we're gonna see at the end here we unlock the final stage, and we're gonna do that one next, and then we can definitely start doing some requests or whatever you guys would like to see. So yeah, we're just gonna use our arcane missiles, and then eventually we're gonna find the passive +3 spell damage, which is gonna help freeze his character and not allow him to attack. You know, this guy's kind of roguely, so he's going to have a lot of weapons to deal with. But yeah, the reason I like the elemental so much, I love that leyline card, especially for Antonidas. You get some fireballs, or the Pyros that comes back sometimes, or just, you know, when Spell Slinger, it's just going to help you out all the time. And obviously, water elemental is great. So yeah, these guys are tough, man. I've died out on a lot of the beginning ones. If you can't seem to get the right synergy, you just have to realize that actually this Tinkerer deck isn't that powerful, and this is a chance for you to say, okay, maybe you don't get the right Blingtron. Throughout it, I've done that and had to retry with Blingtron, but this one I wasn't worried about. We already had lethal. Now we get a chance for Nala the Redeemer. So you can look at these other ones, but Nala is just very, very powerful. Maybe you'll get the one where you can reduce the 5-cost cards and try and beef it up. But we're going to try and pick cards that we can add cards to our hand and just keep a card advantage and know that we're good players, and so we can discover and choose spells along the way and reduce spells in order to have our best options of winning, especially with this hero power that allows you to rethink some turns and you know, like I said, look for secrets that he might play, or just, you know, improve altogether on the randomness of mage. Yeah, Flame Waker is obviously good, and we're going to hope to hit our minion. We could start over there, but I don't want to hit Flame Waker, so I just keep on rolling. Tinksmith Overspark, or Tinkmaster Overspark's a good card. We want to favor our cards with auras like Flame Waker that can do more damage along the way. And just sometimes you'll get the Blingtron all wrong and not be able to fix it. I had one go down with that, and I've had a few along the way, so don't get frustrated. We're trying to show you guys how to do it here. But yeah, you can see there how Nala works. You know, he has to lead in, take 9, and then sack his minion, and then boom, it's got Divine Shield all over again. And hopefully we can look for some ways to beef this minion. I think we end up doing that here at the end with a Power Word Tentacles. He shuffles it back into the deck, but tries to taunt it up. But you actually see here with my Charged Hammer, I'm able to change the hero power, which I was unable to do with Justicar. So who knows? Sometimes this game's very random. And we don't have our spell damage just yet. But yeah, see there how you can reduce. It'd be nice to have played Cableless Tome and reduce all those cards, but Leyline's a great card, especially in you know, Quest Mage. But I don't like having that spot taken by that 1-cost card every time. So here we're going to pick Erratic Creatures because, again, it's cards that we can discover and add things to our hands and just be reactive. That was the best synergy I found. But you're going to find that it's tough to get synergies in these selections. I don't know how they do it, but it's just all over the place. It could be mech, elemental, erratic creatures. There's just a lot of options here for Toki, so you're just gonna have to adapt and mainly just use, you know, mage cards that you know will work for mage, and you should be fine. Courier's good. Alana's not great, but it's the best option we got there, so we'll take it. Yeah, so you want to make sure that he can't use his hero power, so you got to clear his armor so he doesn't just work your board very quickly. And just keep getting rid of his minions then once he doesn't have any armor, and yeah, you can be reactive. Mirror Entity is going to help you if you don't know what's coming. It's also going to help you maintain the board. Yeah, so there is a chance there. I probably should have restarted and got rid of Howl Fiend because that card's terrible, but we feel like we have him, so we just keep rolling downhill. Yeah, so like I said, I did kind of get an easier path, so that's one way you're going to want to do it. I don't know how it starts if you see gobbles and you know that you've got a good chance, or there's a better way to do it, but it's actually fun facing some of the other guys. I wish I had some different guys in here for you, but you know, I can't choose which monsters they give me. Oh, we finish him off with Rag and we just keep moving. Now we're gonna go for Robe of the Magi. Passive spell damage +3. Obviously that's gonna be huge for a mage. And more of these magical friends. So just for the mirror image, and we now have, what, 3 Archmage Antoniduses. So we know Fireball is gonna be the way to win, usually. The Whisperer. This guy's a new one. I haven't seen much of him, but he's actually just so easy to beat with Tinkerer because his spell, once we got the +3 spell damage, and his passive hero power is all spells have echo. Doesn't really help him out a ton, and I mean, all we need is just 1 arcane missiles to basically finish this thing off. We got lucky, got Mana Worm in the beginning, and it's just going to go downhill from there. We had our 2 mana to start with, so like I said, the curve's tough, so it gives you like you're a turn ahead of him, like you just got 1 wild growth off, and you're just gonna want to do that to try and win this. So yeah, here's where maybe we could have waited, but we just get so much value from getting this Mana Worm around after shooting 24 damage, and then 4 times the echo is going to be 4+ on the Mana Worm, so it's just too much damage to pass it up there. It would have been nice to do a 1-turn kill with that card, but we have another low-cost spell to keep beefing our Mana Worm, so we're just going to keep doing that synergy. Yeah, out of all the synergies I found, this one was the one that was most effective, or I don't want to blame it all on the monster path, but it did help not seeing Shudderwalk or some of the other guys that gave me some problems. And then, you know, like I said, you just use the chrono time hero power to redo turns that you don't get the best randomness on. Here he's able to clear the taunt and get rid of Mana Worm, but we still have lethal around. And then he passes Soggoth, which he should have kept. If he'd have kept Soggoth, maybe we were in trouble. Now you can see how the spell damage is ideal. Dragon's Breath is a great card. I mean, this is a fun turn. I'm just showing you what the reduction, and get up to 3 reduction, and you can see why this guy's one of the guys you would love to face with Toki. Yeah, so we're just going to mess around with him here and just kill a bunch of his minions. Maybe could have done better on the reduction, but yeah, so we got rid of the Whisperer. I told you that one's easy for Toki, so Chaos is going to give us, you know, a chance at a potion. We get to discover a spell. Battling Buck's another spell. So you just want to add polymorphs and flame strikes and cards that you're not seeing to select. Just think about them as being inside the discoverable cards. So we see Face Collector again, which we know copies our deck. Again, if y'all would like for me to try and beat it with another monsters or another way, just let me know. This is one way I found, just by keeping a good, you know, have faith in your skills and use a bunch of cards there. You can add cards and be reactive to these bosses. Always add spells and stuff to your hand, so hopefully you can play them with your other mana. Don't get carried away and add something and not have enough mana to cost it, like Mirror Entity there. We'll gladly take a Tempest, like I said, another card that adds a spell to your hand. So you can see why Quest Mage and opening the Waygates would be good. This turn, I'm going to show you how not to play and use your turn over again and try and get greedy and keep my Sorcerer's Apprentice, but it's just not going to happen. So we start that turn over. Now we're not going to get so greedy. I'm just going to clear off his Wailing Soul so he can't evolve too quickly. And he's able to play our Ley Line and evolve it off. So it actually reduced its stats there, which is great. Always assign damage if you can't kill something. You want to just make sure it's damaged anyway. Always try and exert your will. Yeah, so you can see why having 3 Antoniduses will be great. We hope to hit here so we can freeze Foe Reaper, and it doesn't happen. I probably should have played that Mad Bomber left of there because he's able to kill Antonidus. But it's okay. We're just glad that Let's see. Now he's got a pretty good board, but again, Nala is just so strong. I recommend playing that and then clearing off his biggest minions that he can't evolve more, and he'll usually take damage to him and then evolve them. Yeah, he tries to tink our Nala, which would have been bad, but luckily we get away with it. And here, I'm just afraid of damage, so I'm fine with using my Divine Shield to clear off his biggest minion and getting some taunt, and then we're going to go ahead and Emrys and double up Antonidas and whatever we draw, which I believe is the Spell Slinger. Yeah, so here we get lucky, doesn't clear off our Divine Shield and is unable to kill our Nala, so things are looking good. Emrys in a mage deck. So don't make it too spelly, I found out, or too mechy. I realize I think you just have to have a lot of solid minions that add spells that you can work with. And now we're just going to go ahead and clear his Blood of the Ancient One so he doesn't have a high cost minion. He's down to one card, and we've got some huge stat minions. Yeah, so Emrys, you want to look for legendaries. I tried reducing them in a different run, and maybe I just had a tougher path, but here I want to look for Polymorph first, and I'm unable to find it, so Sylvanas is kind of scary to think he might get some of my nicer minions, but that's why we're going to go ahead and throw out Blingtron, and a 0 cost 1 Snow Flipper is going to hit the board. But he becomes a 2/2 and actually ends up taking Snow Flipper, which makes us happy. Yeah, so luckily we didn't give him Valkyrie or some better weapon. He's not going to be able to use Skull of Minari. We know this because it's our deck he's playing. So it's very easy to react to it if you think about the cards that you've brought along the way. When I finish this one, I'm not going to be able to show you the whole deck because we unlocked the final stage, and now we're just going to go ahead and toy around with him sometimes. You know, once you got lethal, don't pass it up, but just get creative, clear the board as much as you can. Alright, 7 monsters down, Face Collector's done. Now we get to see the fun guy. This guy's always going to be your last one. I like Stroke of Midnight. You can kill up to 5 minions with the Echo, and even if you have reduction with Sorcerer's Apprentice, I mean, you can just totally clear the board with that. We don't use it that big, but we're going to go for another Magical Friends, and I believe now we're on to 4 Archmage Antonidases. So obviously you can see which card I like to use. So this one is interesting. He's gonna, or she, Infinite Toki, is gonna do some interesting things here. She has to have 10 mana and she'll play a card that will restart the game. And so she's more of a quest mage. And she's adding spells to both of our hands pretty quickly, which may or may not help you, but again, another reason why Leyline's so powerful. You're going to want to look for some elementals, I think, but mainly that was because of Rag. And Servant of Kalamus, you can try and discover another Rag or another Leyline. So here we go for a high cost minion, or a high powerful minion. I didn't feel like we'd ever get Mind Control Tech off, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it to try and keep the board. But yeah, you can see Spell Sling in, and then realize that Grievous Bite here, once we picked our spell damage, just, focus on the things that you pick. It was tough to do the double time, so the passive spell damage is good. And we're going to wait till you get some of the minions that we're afraid of, like Sorcerer's Apprentice and Waymage out, and then we're going to try and clear off as many of those as we can using our Grievous Bite. And it's going to be different every time. I mean, we can't expect to get that, but we're happy to. And we don't get it right there, but we know that Grievous Bite will hit him on the side, so we're not too worried about that. So we see one Sorcerer's Apprentice and an Echo Medivh come down, and we're going to... We could play Nala here, but I like the way that Spiteful's going to trade. Probably should have waited to see that Humongounoid would have been better than what I end up getting, but you're like, 2 costs, I can do better than that, but we don't. We hit 2 costs again. So now we see 2 Sorcerer's Apprentices, and we're going to play a minion into one of his secrets. We're always going to try and react his secrets, which helps out here. So he gets the Mirror Entity off, and then we just Grievous Bite most of the minions away. Maybe could have gone after the Sorcerer's Apprentices, but I like how it kills here, so we picked that guy. Yeah, so we Repentance, so that's going to be solid there, and we knew he had another Frost Nova because of how Mimic Pod drew it. He didn't play the one that told us that it was a copy, so that's the correct way to do it. Always leave your opponent guessing. But now we're not too sure, but we know he's completed the quest, so that's why I gotta drop Nala here, because I don't know what his plan is, but I'm definitely worried. And there it is, alternate timeline. So then you start over. You know that it costs 10, so he has to reach turn 10 or 10 mana to be able to play it. And then we start over. So luckily we didn't get very much damage that game. That's the thing about Nala. That's why you see in the beginning here, my mana, I don't have much to do, but I'd rather have powerful cards, so I'm kind of okay with not winning the early game too much, because we know he's trying to, or Infinite Toki's trying to add up the spells and try and just take an extra turn. So yeah, even turn 4 we didn't have anything. Summoning Stone isn't going to trade, so we're just going to give him Flame Waker because it'll actually deal with at least one of his minions. And yeah, he's got the secret, reduced secrets, and so this is where we go with Nala instead, just knowing that Spiteful didn't really hit very well for us, and once Nala hits the board, and I know I had got that Power Word Tentacles in hand, so then I can finally beef this card. So, we know that it's not Mirror Entity. I think it ends up being something that most of these Way Mages play, a Mana Bind, so he can get a 0-cost card that didn't start in his deck. So maybe we could have played it better, but that's why we are not worried about. So then he added another secret, and it was Mirror Entity, so just play around the secrets that you know. That's always going to be an idea. Yeah, so Nala is going to be the way for me to win this one. It just helps keep your health up. I don't know how Infinite Toki was planning on winning this thing, but maybe she has Antonidas and just didn't get it all right. But she doesn't draw too many things. So there you see, we lead in with the smallest minion and get vaporized the right way. And we give him the free cost, so we clear off his minion so he can't really use it. But now with an 11-10 Nala, things are looking good. So we don't know what he got there from Cableless Tome, but we're not too worried about it. Now we've got Antonidas and Nala and Summoning Stone. Yeah, we get 11 to the face, and now we're happy. He Flame Strikes but doesn't clear any of the minions we really need. We can check Vaporize again. Now we're pretty sure that it's Ice Block. So we know he'll have that. Obviously, which mage doesn't play Ice Block in a semi-wild format? Yeah, so the Spiteful Summoner is such a strong card. It doesn't really work out for us, but we're not too worried about it. Actually, Dry Gulch Jailer doesn't help us. It fills our hand up, and I guess it helps us maybe against Mirror Entities again and whatnot, but we're going to burn a card. So yeah, I know you guys are probably going to have trouble with Toki, so hopefully this helps you out, and if there's any other way that you want to see it done, just let me know and I'll try and do that for you. And yeah, so he takes an extra turn here, and I think that probably it gets rid of the redo card, play your turn again, or play the whole game again. So yeah, I just want to equip Blingtron to try and clear his minions, but we have control here, and we should be able to finish this thing off well. So we're just going to have to deal with a few ice blocks here in the end, and then you got it. You took care of this guy. Infinite Toki was fun. I found that this was definitely the hardest class to pass, and make sure and work him down to 1 before you set off Icebox. I think we've seen that in Constructed. We know. Alright, so just 1 more Icebox. I think this one's created, so I don't see any way of losing from here, but hopefully you guys are able to beat this guy. Yeah, so like I said, we got him, we beat him, and we're not going to be able to show you the whole deck list because it go ahead and marks me off into going into the next quest. So I'm going to start that one right away, get the final chapter cleared and the video up so you guys can enjoy the videos and keep coming back. Thanks.